Radiohead is my most disappointing band of all time. You know how if you really like a band, you're more likely to cut them a little slack when a subpar album comes out? Of course the snobs will say no. They expect the highest level of music from their favorite band, but let's be honest. All bands have some clunkers here and there. Radiohead was formed in England in 1985. They were considered alternative rock, and for once, I actually agreed with critics who generously kissed their butts. Although Pablo Honey was not well received. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2019. As you'd expect, they did not care. When the first Radiohead album came out in 1993, I heard Creep. You know, the song they hate now, and I loved it. I bought Pablo Honey, and it was way better than I expected. I thought they had a lot of potential. I loved Tom York's voice, and the band was just as talented. They were a great rock band, and just what I needed at that time. Then the Bends came out, and to me, they took their songwriting to a whole new level. The songs were still melodic, but to me they were better than the debut. They were becoming one of my favorite bands. I was not ready for the next jump in their evolution when OK Computer came out. The first single was long and weird. Paranoid Android was 6 minutes and 24 seconds long. Some parts I didn't care for in that song, but I cut them some slack because I loved the band at that point. It is acclaimed as a landmark record and one of the best albums in popular music. For me, they could do no wrong at that time. We know the other singles that came from that album and the buried treasures that weren't released as singles. My dream was to see them live, but I was living in Alaska, and there was no way I could have seen them without spending an incredible amount of money to travel. One day, I hoped. Heck, I even loved the Airbag / How Am I Driving EP that came out in 1998. Brilliant. Palo Alto is still one of my favorite songs from them. I had almost all of their B-sides and unreleased songs, including Alligators in New York Sewers, How Can You Be Sure, Killer Cars, Maquiladora, etc., etc. Then their documentary came out, showing how miserable they were with all of their success, called Meeting People is Easy. It was a fascinating look into the lives of the members who were responsible for bringing such joy into my life with their amazing music. Did I think all of the complaining was a bit over the top? Yes. But they were geniuses, so I enjoyed it. They had a problem with being labeled the next Pink Floyd, or whatever was said about them. I remember watching their MTV concert called Live at the 10 Spot, and I made everyone I knew watch it, and I'd say that's what a band at the top of their game looks like. I eagerly awaited their next effort called Kid A. I hated it. I couldn't possibly hate it any more than I did. I thought it was unlistenable drivel. I could see that they were purposely alienating fans who thought they were the best band since the Beatles. I was willing to look past one bad album. I know there's some weirdos out there who love that album, but they're just trying to be annoying hipsters. Some British critics saw Kid A as a quote-unquote commercial suicide note and intentionally difficult, and longed for a return to Radiohead's earlier style. Me too. Amnesiac and Hail to the Thief were worse than Kid A for me. I was pissed. What happened to the band I loved? I know that's what they wanted to make and put out into the world, but hey, their first 3 albums were legendary to me. I didn't bash them too hard for years. I just kept my disappointment to myself. I passed up chances to see them live because I saw the set lists and I would have felt cheated if I went. I hate bands that hate their biggest hit. They stopped playing Creep for years. Not cool. Again, they're free to do what they want. But by the time In Rainbows came out in 2007, I'd given up on them ever making new music that I would love. I did kind of like the first single, Body Snatchers, but too much damage was done as far as I was concerned. At this point, I hated more songs than I liked. And trust me, I listened to all of the albums after OK Computer and gave them a fair chance since I respected them so much. I wanted to like the songs. It felt painful for me to listen to them. It felt like a chore. Music should be an escape, not a burden. Solo projects and film scores followed that sucked just as bad. At this point, I wouldn't see them live if you paid me. Maybe if they performed the whole albums, The Bends and or OK Computer, I'd consider it. But why would they give fans what they want? I've heard critics say good things about The Smile, some members of Radiohead's new band or project, whatever it is. But I haven't heard anything from them. It probably sucks. This is all my opinion. Please explain to me what I'm missing after OK Computer. Do you agree or disagree with me? I'm curious. If you appreciate videos discussing music and musicians, let me know. 3 other bands that have let me down are Silverchair, Coldplay, and Pearl Jam. Do you have any bands that have disappointed you? Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.